What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rad here coming at you with my Onewheel GT first impressions. My impressions are coming from a average one wheeler. I'm coming from a Pint X, and that's why I've been riding for like the last 6-7 months. On that Pint X, I have about 150 day streak on there, number 15 in the world, whatever. Almost 900 miles on that board. So me coming to the GT, it's going to be a whole different experience of what I've had from the Pint X, I'm guessing. So I just want to share it with you. Let's just talk about the obvious of the Onewheel GT, what everybody talks about, and that's the speed and the power of the GT. First off, I love the speed. I love that I can get this board up to 21 miles an hour and feel comfortable. With the Pint X, it gets serious pushback at about 16.5. I only feel comfortable going around 17 and a half before the board just wants to wobble all over the place. The speed is good for places like this trail that is flat and open and smooth, because you can get that cruising speed of about 20-21 and feel good. Here on the Pint X, on this trail, I would say to make this trail fun, I would say carving would be the big thing, especially to get through and push through the pushback that it gets you. You have to carve on a Pint X, and the GT can just go. Being able to pass up and keep up or get away from bikers on the trails, I could do that on my Pint X, but those bikers were older guys who weren't trying to go more than 14 miles an hour, but on a GT you're passing up those veteran bikers, and it's a good feeling. I wasn't in the market for a GT so soon, but I usually ride solo, but I hit a group ride up one day, and just seeing how those guys rode and seeing how comfortable they were at those higher speeds while I'm sitting on my Pint X and push back the whole time. Don't get me wrong, the Pint X is a valuable, capable board. By no means is it a front of the pack type of board, but if you have enough experience, you can kind of cruise around that middle. You won't get left behind. But just seeing that the GTs were just that much faster made me like thinking, if I want to ride more group rides, which was my prediction in the first place, if I want to ride more group rides, then I'm going to have to get a GT. And just being able to keep up with the group, if I have to fall behind, I can catch up to the group and passing up slower people without having to exceed pushback. It's a wonderful feeling, and that's one thing I enjoy about this board of the GT. And what comes with speed comes with the power of the GT. I will say I'm impressed. I've ridden some trails that have a steep hill that my Pint X just could not make it up. Me and my buddy went to it, and he was on his GT, and he's a lot lighter than I am on a GT. He just smoked that hill. I was so curious to see what he could do on the hill, and I was impressed with that. Pint X could not make it up. It almost could, but because it changed from a concrete slab to asphalt, it was like a little small gap. When it hit that gap, it would just topple over. It didn't have enough power to get over that gap. I think the first day I got the GT, I went out to that trail, and I got to that hill, and I just wanted to see what it can do. And sure enough, it got up that hill with no problems. But one thing I noticed about the power is that it doesn't last that long. Once you get below 50%, that same hill that I had problems on my Pint X, GT's having the same issue, and probably even worse. So just know that it is serious power drop off at a certain point, and not to take these hills too confident. which I did also, was take one of these hills a little too confident one day, and I'm thinking, oh, the GT has power, but I'm forgetting that I'm at 35% and thing just nosedive in the hill. I mean, luckily I ran it out, but you just got to realize that once you get below a certain amount of battery percentage, the GT isn't as powerful as it was in the beginning. You just gotta take it easy at the end of these rides when you're below 50%, I'll say. It loses its strength up these hills, its power, but you know, your speed is still there, which is a good thing. At the moment, with the feel of the GT, I kind of prefer the Pint X feel more as of right now. Maybe it's because I'm not used to it yet, but the GT just feels like it wants to topple me over sometimes and buck me off, and I think that heavy battery pack, I have to put more weight down on my back foot so I can reduce the speed wobbles. And you know, maybe the tire isn't broken in yet, because I mean, I think this board used at around 250 miles. Hell of a deal, I must say. So that's the reason I have a GT right now. But I just love how the Pint X feels so much more playful. I'm more of a bouncy rider. Like, I like to bounce and, you know, just feel loose, like just some soft knee action type. I just love being loose on my board, and the Pint X helps me feel that. But the GT feels like I have to more so baby it, because it has a lot more weight under my feet, just a lot more power. It doesn't feel as carvy, but it's not a bad feeling. It's still nice, like I said, but Pint X, I love just how that feels and how free moving I can feel on that board and not feel restricted to the GT. But I think it's just more so I have to get used to it. That's all. Once I get used to it and the tire breaks in, we'll see how it goes. The only gripe I have with the GT at the moment, and the reason why I'm justifying keeping my Pint X, is the weight of this board. My gosh. I dread taking this. I live in an apartment and I stay on the second floor, and I just dread taking this thing downstairs. Just to run to the grocery store, just to run, like, I would rather take my Pint X. Just taking my board to work with me, I would rather take my Pint X. The GT is a monster. Yeah, I know they're meant to ride, not to carry, but I do have to carry my board at times when I go down my steps, I go up my steps, and when I do go to work, it's just hassle to carry it around. The front handle helps a lot because it helps me get into smaller spaces, but that's about it. Other than that, I would rather not take this thing with me everywhere I go. I'd rather just grab the Pint X and be on the move and go. This is just my first impressions of the GT. I'm pretty sure my opinions on the GT will change in the future. Like I said, I've only been riding this board for maybe like a week. I put about 100 miles on it. So I'm still just getting used to it. I have almost 900 miles on my Pint X, so I am very familiar with that. I'm not really here to say what's better and what you should buy, a Pint X or a GT. I'm just speaking from a person who has both and has experience with both. And like I said, I thoroughly enjoy the Pint X. It's a good board. I wouldn't let anybody tell me anything otherwise. When I told the group that I had a GT, they're all, "Oh, so you're gonna sell the Pint X now?" No, I'm not finna carry that big Onewheel around every day. So this Pint X is staying with me. I'm just gonna rock out with two boards. I just love the GT also just for its speed and power. Like I say, it is the best option for a group ride, hands down. You can be in the front, you can be in the back, you can be in the middle. Whatever you want to do with this board is capable. And really, I haven't had any experience with the range of the GT. In the beginning, I was kind of disappointed of the range of the GT, but I had to realize the guy that I got it from, he basically let it sit for about a month. So I just gotta let these battery cells balance. Like I took it out on this trail, and it showed on the Onewheel app that it said like it was like at 80-something%, and then I stopped and took a break, and then I started to back up, and it was down to like 72%. So there's something going on with the battery cells. I just gotta let them balance. Just let it sit, and once I get that in tune, I'll be sure to take this on a long journey and get my impressions on that as well. But the longest I've done on this board is maybe like 15 miles so far, but I'll still have 30-40% left, and I think it's kind of low for what it is, but hey. But I appreciate y'all watching. It's been the end of the video. It's my impressions. Pretty sure I'll be making a full review here soon. But I'm out. It's your boy Rad.